pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lucy, could you please do a roll call to establish a quorum?
Keith Harbison.
Here.
Carolyn Spraggs.
Here.
Deanna Wires. Here. Chris Schneider.
Here.
Rich Martin.
Here.
Frankie Schwartz. Here. Stephanie Tibbetts.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Lucy. I would entertain a motion to amend or adopt the agenda.
Go ahead. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. To adopt the agenda as presented, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is adopted, so we will start off with recognitions.
Yes, we have some wonderful news. We have Blackhawk Middle School was voted best school again for 2 years in a row. Well, that's a hot night. 2 years in a row. And also Hopewell was voted best preschool. So congratulations, guys. You come up, we'll get a picture.
All together?
Sure. We're one team, right?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who wants to hold these?
Yes, I do. She's it.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Very good, very good.
Lucy, do we have any public comments? Okay. We'll move on to section 4, which is superintendent reports, and it looks like we'll start with the technology report.
Yes, Mr. Greer.
Good evening. I brought mine on paper this year. Just in
Yeah,
case.
There you go.
Okay, so where we are today, our one-to-one is 4th grade through 12th grade, and we have enough devices for K-3. Take home is grades 6 through 12. We are down to 4 PC labs, and then we have charging carts in all classrooms K-5. We have 5,681 total computing devices on average of a 5-year rotation. And we are down to 84 Promethean boards because we've been replacing them with the 62 new light panels. And we have 30 interactive projectors, 322 access points, and 2 wireless controllers to support Wi-Fi in every classroom. Up to 275 cameras now and video surveillance capable of approximately 3 weeks of video. We have 73 door access controls, 394 voice over IP phones. We dropped 1 internet connection, so we are down to 2 connections now. And we support many other pieces of equipment, 103 switches, 22 physical servers, 45 virtual servers, web filter firewall, and all sorts of other things. Comparison of tickets between 23-24 and 24-25. The gray area is the average ever since we've been tracking. So last year was a pretty good year. I would say last year was actually a below average year for tickets, so not as many problems last year as the previous years. The one-to-one learning initiative, grades 4 through 12, students keep the same Chromebook in grades 4 through 8, and they're issued a new device for grades 9 through 12. The Chromebooks are annually assigned to every student's grade K through 3. Last year we had 655 total one-to-one tickets, and that's same style chart, and last year, one-to-one tickets, we set a bunch of new high records for repairs. The breakdown of the one-to-one help desk tickets, and this is because you guys asked last year, so I collected the data. So Blackhawk is the yellow, Alpha is the red band, and high school is the blue parts of the bars. So as you can see, most months Blackhawk had more repairs than high school. And in the board report, I did do a breakout of what types of repairs those were. So we are continuing to work with MS Isaac, the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center. We do that they collect data of where we go and they send reports back, and they help us to block. And this information is, a lot of schools share this information, so they've been receiving this information from all sorts of schools, so it helps build a robust system for us to help protect us. I did want to note that MS Isaac is no longer a free service. They lost funding, of course, so we do have a membership fee now that we had to build into our budget. District Technology Committee members, we don't actually meet. We communicate via email, and we really only communicate when there's a major change that needs discussing, so not a whole lot of time taken from everyone. Goals for 26-27, increase the number of system administration positions from 2 to 3, continue to collaborate with MS Isaac and the Center for Internet Security to enhance our network security, continue working with the PDC to provide technology training for staff, ensure the availability of necessary technology devices and resources for both students and staff. It's on our agenda to review demo various phone systems because the phone system is up for replacement, and review demo new web hosting providers. Thank you. Any questions on this or my board meeting or the program evaluation?
Can you just briefly tell me the difference between a Promethean board and a Newline panel?
Promethean board, you have a projector projecting on the board,
Right.
so the board is more like a giant mouse.
Right.
Newline panel, it's more like a TV. You're not projecting on it. It's a touchscreen TV.
Okay, okay. That's
And it has lots of smart features, so teachers can annotate over it and everything, and they can save it. And it is Android based, so it saves everything to their Google Drive.
Okay, thanks, that's good.
The one that you said now has a annual fee, is that the Warren and Sora?
No, Sora is audiobooks.
Okay.
And we were doing a free subscription of that, but last year when YouTube dropped, when YouTube raised their age limit to the terms of service to be 18 plus, a lot of teachers were using YouTube for audiobooks. So at that point, we went to Sora. We already had that free version, but we needed a little more robust version, so that we had multiple copies of all the audiobooks. And then I guess they went to a new pricing structure recently, so they wanted us to sign a new agreement.
Do we have any information on how many kids are accessing the audiobooks?
I do not have any information on that.
Okay. Do you know if the librarians would have that?
I don't think the librarians have information on that because the librarians aren't the ones that are pushing it. It's more curriculum. The teachers are assigning the books to read, and I assume I feel the situation is that some kids have IEPs and stuff that allow them to have an audiobook instead of reading the book. That's what I took out of the last year and why we needed more copies.
So we're using them for audio textbooks?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, like in reading class or language class, if they assign a book to read.
Literature.
Okay.
Literature, yeah.
If a child can't read the book, they may listen to it instead if it's in the AP. or something, I would imagine you're right about
That's,
that.
that's what I got out of it last year and why we needed it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is summer school. So assume Dr. Stanley is coming forward.
Dr. Stank will also do the Care Day presentation. Or,
I'm up here for the long haul. Good evening. So I first want to start out with an overview of the program evaluation from Summer School 2025. So last year during summer school, we offered kindergarten through 8th grade district created curriculum in the areas of math, science, ELA, art, PE, music, and technology. And then grades 9 through 12 was credit recovery, high school PE, health, personal finance, foundations of art, and then pre-Missouri options for the Alpha Academy. In 2025, the summer finances, we brought in a revenue of $609,594. Sorry guys. Supplies, we spent $7,644.59. We spent a little over $42,000, almost $43,000 in gift cards. Staffing was $558,000, and for a total, we had a surplus or made $301.37 for revenue. Based on 2024 summer finances, the revenue was $647,000. Supplies, gift cards, staffing, and we had $229,000. Enrollment in 2025 was very similar to 2024. We had 949 students total, K through 12, and our ADA was 84.2. In 2024, we had 910 students, and our ADA was 89.5. So our ADA was a little bit down this past summer. We also offer enrichment camps after summer school. We have 3 weeks of half-day enrichment camps that we offer elementary through middle school. I did an outline of how many students on an average. We had around 23, 25 in the elementary each week in STEM, PE, art, and robotics. And it is the same course each week. So STEM week 1, 2, and 3 is the same. So students will take 1 week of STEM and then they switch to a different class the next week.
Okay.
And then our proposed goals for summer school in 2026, increase learning opportunities for students in summer school, increase student enrollment and average daily attendance during summer school, and then increase revenue for summer school. We're proposing kindergarten through 4th grade to be held at Daniel Boone Elementary, 5th through 8th grade at Black Hawk Middle School, 9th through 12th grade at Warrenton High School, and then also a small group at Alpha. Dates June 8th through July 9th. We switch it up in summer, Monday through Thursday. That's what we have done in the past. And then no school on June 18th for the Juneteenth holiday and July 2nd for the Independence holiday. In 2026, what we'd like to offer, again, same in kindergarten through 4th grade, district created curriculum in math, ELA, science, music, PE, technology, and art. 5th through 8th, same. In math, ELA, science, STEM exploration, PE, technology, and art. Getting feedback from the students and the staff. They would like to go to a more STEM-based for a discovery for the exploratory class versus music. So more hands-on STEM activities for them in that. And then for the high school, 9th through 12th grade, we would like to offer for credit advancement, switch it up to some virtual options. So a virtual offering in health and personal finance, and then credit advancement in PE with both in-person and a virtual option. And then 9th through 12th grade, credit advancement in person would be foundations of art, and credit recovery in person for in-person credit recovery classes. And then for attendance gift cards, we would like to propose to keep that for kindergarten through 8th grade. $100 prepaid card for students can miss up to 1 day, which is 7.08 hours. $75 for up to 2 days, and $50 for up to 3 days missed. And then after summer school, we would like to offer the enrichment camps again from July 13th through July 30th, and that would be housed at Warrior Ridge Elementary in elementary STEM, PE, art, robotics, and then 1 week of a kindergarten readiness, kickoff to kindergarten, 4 days of a half, getting those students ready for kindergarten. And then middle school STEM, summer safety, art, and PE. The summer safety is the only thing that's a little bit different. We do 3 weeks. The first week, we have done the hunter safety course, and we'd like to do that again this year. So the students do Monday through Wednesday of in-class preparing using the book that's provided through the Missouri Department of Conservation, going through all the videos, learning together, and then on that 4th day, a Missouri Conservation agent comes in, and then the students can do the hands-on portion and then they take the test. And essentially they leave with their hunter safety license. What questions would you have for me on summer school?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Janelle. So let's say somebody is gonna take PE virtually. Is that gonna be like does it have to be done the exact same days that summer school is open? Or is it a little more flexible?
It's a little bit more flexible.
Okay.
Just because we would still have the semesters, and they'd have the flexibility of they wouldn't have to be doing it from 7 a.m. to 3:30. They could be doing it at their own pace, making sure that they get it done throughout that time frame.
Okay.
We have a lot of families that leave on vacation.
Right. That's why I was asking if a kid was able to still get it done, but not necessarily in those hours. and
Correct.
Exact days, like they might work
Mhm.
on it some Friday, Saturday, Sunday
Right.
or something.
Exactly. They'd be able to kind of work at their own schedule for what works. We have a lot of students that still work too.
Right.
So that would allow them to still be able to work part-time or so during the summer and still be able to get their credit.
And it's always been tough for the kids who are like showing livestock at the fair or whatever, maybe that would be an option for them then.
Yes, yes. And we did have 64 students that took courses through Grandview last year. And that was just students. That wasn't exactly, they took more classes than that, but there were 64 students enrolled. So that would be 64 students that we'd be able to help here at Warren County and not have to send them out for additional online courses.
And I think I sent Dr. Russo a link one time, I think it was the state of Iowa, don't quote, wasn't it? For the PE too, that's in the state of Iowa, they do give kids credit for PE during some schools that, just not the traditional idea of PE, because there's a lot of kids that don't get the traditional part of it, but still do a lot of activity things out that you could probably incorporate too somehow. I don't know
Yes.
if you looked at that.
Yes, I believe they were doing community service and those kind of things, helping elderly and, mowing lawns and those kind of things. Yeah, I did read an article very similar to that.
Yeah.
So I think we could definitely do some out-of-the-box thinking
Sure.
when we create that curriculum
Yeah.
to meet the needs of students,
Yeah.
to make sure that they can get their credit that they need.
Is there a reason we switch it to Monday through Thursday?
We have typically always done that. A lot of parents leave and families leave on the weekend, and that seems to be, if students were going to be absent, it was always on that Friday.
Okay.
So being able to kind of switch it up a little bit was able to get them in the seats, and that way they weren't missing some of those credits and those the studies that they needed.
And then for me, since I'm new, what is ADA?
Average daily attendance.
Okay.
That's how we're paid.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we're paid off, that's the number we're paid off of.
Okay.
Any other questions on summer school? I guess you can roll into your next one.
All right. So the next presentation that I would like to give is about our after-school programming. So that includes our Latchkey and Care Day. And you can see on the front, this is a picture of our kindergarten/first grade room. They were learning chemical reactions. So we were making some elephant toothpaste. So our goals, the district will increase partnerships between businesses in the community and students by May of 2028. Our Latchkey program provides before and after school care for students kindergarten through 8th grade. We open at 5:30 in the morning till 7:40, and then again at 3:15 till 6 p.m. Currently, we have 6 staff members. We are located at Rebecca Boone, Daniel Boone, and Warrior Ridge. We do offer for our middle school students that attend Blackhawk, they walk down to Daniel Boone and join them. During Latchkey, we offer a broad array of activities, STEM-based lessons, outdoor play, academic homework help, hands-on crafts, games, and problem-solving skills. During Latchkey, for the past few years, we've done 4-H spin clubs and also Clover Kits. So Latchkey students in all buildings are offered the opportunity to join a 4-H club during Latchkey. So Miss Maureen Michael from the 4-H comes in once a month, and they are joining a 4-H group. They have a limited amount of activities that they do, but then she also invites them to join a club in the evening if they would like. The students who participate in the 4-H clubs during Latchkey can also show at the fair, enter different activities and things at the fair. Clover Kids is a new addition this year, and that's offered for the students ages 5 through 7. This past year and last year, we were WISE grant recipients, so each Latchkey site received STEM building kits and marble tracks and just different activities. They were loving it. Our enrollment and attendance, we started at 2020, we had 140 students, and then this past year, currently we are at 202 students. I broke it down by AM and PM. AM is our lower, so I just did August, September, and October so far this year. Warrior Ridge has our highest in the morning, and then Daniel Boone, Rebecca Boone is sitting pretty much about 6 in the morning. And then in the afternoon session, Rebecca Boone is about 25, Daniel Boone is in the 40s. Today we were up to 44. Warrior Ridge is sitting right around 28 to 30 on a daily. The students there are they created a STEM putt-putt golf, to explain the picture. Our financial overview, we had a working budget of $168,750.16. And then our Latchkey expenses, we had $90,103.65. Care Day. Care Day was started during the 1920 school year when we went to a 4-day school week. So we wanted to provide a place for students and students to go when families had to go to work. So we created Care Day. They're available each Monday except professional development days. It's at Rebecca Boone Elementary. We are open from 7:40 to 3:15. And Care Day is free due to a grant, which I'll talk about in a minute. Latchkey is available before and after Care Day, and that is for a fee, but that's included. We do a sliding scale, 3 days or less, 4 days or more on when they pay for their their Latchkey fees. We have 4 staff members, and we have 181 students enrolled. 181 students enrolled. We have breakfast and lunch served. We have gotten a school-age community grant, which has helped fund Care Day. It's $240,000 over 3 years. This is our second cycle, so this is year 6 of the grant. So if it's opened again, I will reapply for it this spring, but we're at the end of our 6th year on the cycle. And that grant was to implement STEM programming during Care Day. It covers staffing, supplies, and professional development, and it allows for the Care Day program to be free of charge for all district students. Some of the grants that we've received besides the SAC grant, we've gotten a micro grant, and the micro grant is for entrepreneurship. So having the kids create a business and create a product and sell, create a slogan, a pitch challenge, those kind of things. This year we received the micro grant and we purchased a freeze dryer. A few years ago with our micro grant we purchased a tower garden. So each elementary has a tower garden, which is a hydroponic garden that we grow all kinds of vegetables and those kind of things in. And then the freeze dryer that we purchased is helping to preserve those. We also have outdoor gardens. We have a greenhouse. This is at Rebecca Boone Elementary. The students in the garden planted kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, those kind of things. We try to get the kids to all try the things that we grow. We did. They loved kale. I would not have guessed it, but we made kale chips, and they like those. So it's just like a salt and vinegar potato chip, basically, but any way to get them to eat their vegetables, right? Also, during Care Day, during 2024 and 2025, we were recipients of the Missouri Department of Conservation bus grant. The grant provided reimbursement for bus transportation as long as students visited a Missouri state park. Last year, and then again this year, we will go to Quiver River State Park for hands-on science activities, and this year there is a new naturalist, and she has a peek in the Peek in the Creek program, where the students are going to get to wade in the creek and look through and, collect tadpoles and all kinds of things. So they're excited about that coming up in May. Financial overview, again, it's $80,000 a year for the 3 years. One of our biggest goals at Care Day is for community partnerships. So the University of Missouri Extension Center and 4-H, they team up to do health, nutrition, and gardening lessons. Warrenton Aquatic Center, they do safety around water lessons. Scenic Regional Library comes and visits once a month and does story time with our kindergarten. Last year we had Allison Bales come and do an author visit. St. Louis Dairy Council, they do Adopt a Cow program, and so we have a cow in kindergarten that they track every month. Girl Scouts do STEM lessons. Local stylists come and give free haircuts for our students, and the Missouri After School Network does the mobile STEM programming lab that'll come in again this spring. And what questions do you have for us?
I guess I got a question on the SAT grant. So that you said we're at the end of our second term with that, so you'll have to reapply. Is that through DESE?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there any concern with
When
them
I
not
talk-
having those grants again?
No, they are having a grant writing workshop again coming up. When there was kind of some uncertainty at the beginning of the year, they immediately sent out an email, and they said that the SAT grant, because we are a smaller grant, there's the 21st Century grant, which is much larger, and that's at the national level. The SAT grant is at more of a state, is at the state level, that Missouri was able to cover it, and they did not foresee any reason why it would not be continued for the next cycle.
That's good to hear, because obviously it's.
We're
lots
always
of
keeping
great
our
things,
fingers
so-
crossed, because you never know, but they do have the grant writing, the workshop planned in January to go to talk about the new cycle opening, so
That sounds promising.
we're hoping.
Fingers crossed. Good.
How many kids participate at this point, give or take?
On a weekly basis in Care Day, we have about between 100 and 110. And then it's kind of funny because sometimes it's never the same students. You have your few regulars, and then you have some new ones, and then you'll get new ones next week, and they'll come back and forth. But usually it's always right around 100, 110.
And is it more older kids, like in the middle school ages, or is it more?
More younger, kindergarten through 5th grade is our higher. We do have higher middle school this year than what we've had, but the middle schoolers that we have are the kids that I've had the past few years. So they've kind of just continued.
Stuck with it.
Yeah, continue joining. We do also have A+ tutors that come in, A+ helpers that come in, and it's former Care Day students or former students that I had at Warrior Ridge. And it's nice to have them come in and join us, and we keep them busy, hot gluing, working with kids, teaching them all kinds of things.
And when you do have an opportunity to go on field trips, like you said, a couple of you went on field trips, what responsibilities as far as where's the cost incurred on the buses and so forth like that?
The buses are mostly is the cost. So what has covered that is the Missouri, the bus grant. And then we did go to the Science Center last year, but that was a grant that was through the Missouri After School Network. So anytime usually that we go on a field trip that goes anywhere, it's usually funded by a grant to cover the bus.
And how much, give or take, how much a bus would be for a trip?
$300-400 by the time said and done.
Yeah. And I'm just speaking on the top of my head. Elementary used to, we used to have 4th and 5th grade a lot. They went on a field trip quite a bit. They were back in Missouri History Days to go to the state capitol.
Mhm.
I don't know if they do that anymore,
No.
to our
I don't think
knowledge.
so.
That's too far.
Yeah.
So my question is, would you be interested in taking a group of kids from Care Day to a field trip to the state capitol during session in the spring? And
If it wouldn't be
if
too
you said-
far.
Huh?
If it wouldn't be too far, I would, be very interested in it. I am also part of the Missouri Ambassadors through Missouri After School Network, so I'm on the Ambassadors Committee, meeting with, we do meet with our representatives and those kind of things, so it would be very interesting to get the kids to
Well,
see a session.
exactly, and so my daughter she works at the House of Representatives, and I just happen to need to make a decision in the next 30 days to give somebody a grant that I'm available for the Twitter River Roundup Board. And I have a $500 grant that I'm always looking for someone to give it to. Last year I gave it to the Special Olympics basketball team, and if you'd be willing to do something like that with Care Day, because I'm a big proponent of Care Day, I talk you up all the time. I would love to give you my $500 grant this year, if you're okay with that, to
do something to that extent, and earmark it, that maybe you could do something with the government, since that's what I did.
We would absolutely love that.
And I know Representative Myers would be welcome, and my daughter would too, she just doesn't know yet, so. They would host you that day.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful,
Well,
yes.
there you go, so my decision's been made now, you'll be the recipient of my Clipper River Roundup.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we would absolutely love that. That'd
I've
be
been,
great.
I've been debating for 2 months on this. I've been waiting for we call them godwinks at my house, and so there it is. There you go.
Thank you.
So I have a question. I see that you did a grant, and it was for the Missouri Department of Conservation, that Beacon Creek. Do you use any of their curriculum through Care Day?
We do.
You do?
We do.
Okay.
We used the bear curriculum, the first grade, it was all about bears last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're dabbling in it. I know they were revamping some of it. And so I do meet with the our Cover River rep and our Missouri Department of Conservation rep, I'm sorry. And she's actually the one who helped us get set up with the hunter safety course and all that. So.
And saying that, just to let you know too, you can always think outside the box. So the Quiver River Roundup Board gives money away each month, and there's an application online that you fill out, and I know we've given things to the Wright City PE department for bicycles. Someone's always thinking outside the box, and we give a lot to backpack projects across to schools and stuff like that. But if you're ever thinking about that, and you need some grants that you're not being covered, there's a source for you.
Go Rich.
I just watch for them to come through, and I talk it up with whoever comes through there. We met this morning and we gave $30-something thousand away each month, so it's a good organization, and you're definitely in the Quiver River situation there, so it's awesome that there's opportunities there as well.
Wonderful, I will definitely look into that.
What kind of programs are you doing through Care Day for any kind of language learning?
We have had, I haven't this year yet, but we have had some interpreters came in and kind of talked with the students, gave some overviews. But I'm definitely looking for some additional resources, so if you have any ideas, I would be, love to hear them.
Okay.
We try to bring in multicultural activities throughout the year as well, Christmas around the world and those kind of things, but we're always looking for new things.
Any other questions for Dr. Stan?
I promise I have no more presentations.
All right, on to discipline and safety report.
All right, good evening. Annual report on student, staff, and school safety. So our focus area, specifically our goal in this, in the CSIP has changed. Previous to this year, it has been a status goal, just trying to keep, trying to reduce the number of students that receive a certain number of referrals each year. And so what the CSIP committee decided instead was the goal of any discipline program is to address behavior and then reduce recidivism. And so that's what the new goal does. So we take a look at the number of students that exceed Tier 1, so more than 2 referrals in quarter 1, and then we're going to see who receives 3 or more in quarter 2, and we're going to try to reduce that number. So again, trying to increase the effectiveness of the discipline program. So the action steps we're taking to do that, I meet monthly with an assistant principal representative from every building. We look at trends, but then also those students individually, and then they take that discussion and they go back to their building and their Tier 2 and Tier 3 committees, and then they try to address create action plans and address the concerns specific to their building, because it is very different, as we'll talk about here a little bit. So overall, so just through the end of first quarter typically ends at the end of October. So take a look there, we are up a little bit in comparison to the last 2 years, but we are trending in the right way, and I think that this increase has a lot to do with recent laws instead of an increase in behavior, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is our 3-year comparison, and you can kind of see we were slightly above in August and September, but then we dropped below. We were at a 3-year low for October. And again, I took this data right at the end of October. That's why November's at 0. And so We aspire to that, but that may not be how we end up. But that also, so that mirrors the trend in really the #1 discipline referral that we have seen so far this year. And perhaps, unsurprisingly, that is insubordination that deals with the cell phone. So that is something that, again, state law has determined that there are no cell phones in schools. So that has been our #1 referral for Q1 across the district, then truancy. And you can kind of see the rest there. When I talk about things that are specific to particular grade levels, I'm talking specifically about #3 there, the physical aggression, endangering behavior, because that seems to be, there is an increase there over the previous year, even though they're still the #3 most referred action. But more interestingly about that is 60% of that is in grades K2, which is not necessarily what I would expect. 40% is in kindergarten. And so, it makes me wonder if, because what we've known is, for a while now that early or preschool options in our county have been limited. And so I almost wonder if it's a delay in socialization, coming in without that previous. I have done absolutely nothing to look at that. That's just a guess. But that is something that is the #1 priority in our elementary buildings moving forward. So then again, after our first quarter, this is what our assistant principals have decided to focus on within their buildings. So you can kind of see how that goes. Just so you know what these codes are, the PHAG, that's the physical aggression, endangering behavior, HRSE is horseplay, INTT is intimidation or threats, ICOM is abusive language, TRUC is truancy, TARD is tardies, DRUP is classroom disruption, and DDIS-P is the cell phone insubordination. So the fact that, again, that is a Tier 3 focus at the high school shows that the issues that we're seeing now with cell phones are due to now just limited individuals who continue to get in trouble for that, not a widespread problem, which is probably why we're seeing the overall number of referrals drop. And so that's an encouraging trend. And so we expect to see continuing to be at a 3-year low in the months ahead. So I know this is small, I apologize. We continue all of the different things, trying to celebrate positivity as one of our main drivers in the discipline program. These are just some different ways that our different school levels are doing so. A lot of this stuff is continuation from before. Our elementaries have a very strong tradition of PBIS in their buildings with the WOW shout-outs, PBS coins, and things of that nature. BHMS is trying to focus deliberate use of their advisory time and house family time to reinforce specific expectations, those things that they're trying to focus on from month to month. And then the house point system helps to, reinforce that. And then at the high school level, it is a very deliberate attempt to increase recognition of doing the right thing. So we're seeing an increase in positive postcards home, student shout-outs, students of the month that they put on their social media, academic success boards throughout the building celebrating ACT accomplishment or things of that nature. So again, trying to make discipline not just punishing, but celebrating kids who are doing the right things. And just talking about safety overall, we're continuing to build a partnership with local law enforcement. Every year we have a safety committee that meets. That's our administration, SROs, other members of our first responder community. This year was the first year that our SROs and admin teams started collaborative site assessments. So we have a document that we use. They walk around the building. They find, like if lighting is missing over an exterior door, we take note of that. We provide a list of priorities to our maintenance department. We're currently working those issues, things of that nature. We've also implemented bus ride with our transportation department, which has been a huge success. Now the transportation department, but also our families know where all of our buses are at any given time. And so that creates a lot of peace of mind for our families. If a bus is late, then we can send a text just to those families through that app, letting them know that we're going to be about 3 minutes late. And they even get notifications like 3 minutes out when the bus is coming up to the bus stop. So it's been a very positive, well-received thing. And then in addition to that, with district safety, we're working to meet all the Senate Bill 68 requirements. So our nurses have put together cardiac response teams for each building, and they'll work on getting the appropriate training for that. We've procured a number of Stop the Bleed kits. Those will be distributed around, and again, appropriate staff getting trained in that. We have worked to obtain alternative door locking devices for all buildings. Every building looks a little bit different, but that's something that it's not necessarily a requirement until later. I think it's buildings that are built after 2027, it's a requirement to have that. But we're taking that additional step. I know our maintenance department is working hard to put those alternative locks so that if, heaven forbid, something's wrong with the latch, then the teacher can drop in a bar, or whatever the case may be. Again, every building's a little bit different, but have that way to lock the door. Our SROs tell us every year the most successful security measure ever is a locked door. And then we're going to be working on transitioning our current crisis response manual to the emergency operations plan model. So this is something that is going to be in progress. We probably will be working on it probably through next year. The emergency operations plan is something from MSBA. Our crisis response manual addresses most of it, but it puts it in a different way. And so we need to work to convert that over, and we will be. And there are some different emergencies that we need to, I guess, address in that manual. Just trying to give our staff as most a comprehensive document as we can. So I've already met with the fire marshal to talk about certain things, like if there's a hazmat spill in town, things like that. Trying to bolster that, but that's going to be a work in progress. That will take some time. But that's the presentation, pending your questions.
Any questions? I don't have any.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Finance report. Okay. Okay, just our normal monthly finance report. We'll jump into this. So revenues, we're trending a little bit lower than where we were last year, mainly because last year we got double payments. We got an early childhood payment, about $1 million more than we received this year. Expenses are about the same, and the fund balance is slightly lower just because we started the year lower. And as you can see there, we started the year a little bit lower, and it's trending exactly the same. And I would expect a big dip again in December. Tax bills at least haven't received mine yet. Hopefully hasn't been lost in the mail. Okay, so there'll be kind of late payment of receiving that in the county, and then also all of our end of the year bills like our insurance.
But they had the sign up outside the building. They're due by December 31st already.
Okay, good. That's good. We appreciate them getting that word out. So anyway, I would expect another dip like that. The year before, that blue line, the bills came out a little earlier, and they were able to give us a revenue early. So I would anticipate another pretty sharp dip. So here we are, revenues locally, we're up, which is good. The county is up a little bit as well. State's down because we had a double payment last year, and federal is up as well. Of course, we're spending more money on salaries and benefits than we had in the past. Purchase services are up a little bit, and supplies are pretty much the same. So we're doing fine there. Fund balances and capital projects, we have a little over $2 million right now, which is doing pretty healthy there. The bond issue itself, we have $17 million in cash right now, and then we have a contingency fund of $422,000 still left in the building. That is finances.
Any questions on finance? Right. So, excuse me. Next section of superintendent's reports is the MSBA conference update. So I don't know if we wanted to go through.
Yeah, that's just an opportunity for board members to share.
Share what anyone remembers from the MSBA conference that was held back in late October. So I'll start it off. I attended the president's session. I don't remember the exact name for it, but it was a half a day on Thursday. Quite a few presidents and superintendents attended. I mean, it was a really good workshop where a lot of
I would call it, sharing of different things that they do within their district at their board meetings, to help, keep things efficient. And, I don't know, I took quite a few things away from it and learned quite a bit, especially around not just running board meetings, but understanding, kind of the other workings, to keep things efficient. Probably one of the things I remember the most was the fact that as presidents, right, and there was another president that stated this, he said, really as a president, you really only have two other responsibilities of the rest of the other board members, and that's to establish an agenda and run a meeting. And that, that was something I remembered, right, because otherwise, a president is really a board member that has those two additional responsibilities. So that was one of the things I remember.
For myself, which mine's not on, but for myself, I met with the Missouri Department of Conservation and went to some of their things, so I was super excited to see what we utilized from that curriculum. Just because I know that they do have a more robust curriculum now, and the Sugar's Head was something that we were really excited that you utilized. And then the other aspect that I focused in on was school safety, which I want to share here because I want everybody to know what we're doing for our safety. Because then it's not very safe. So, yeah.
I would say though that I learned a lot more about Senate Bill 68 while we were there, and I'm really glad that in your report you were talking about some of the things that have gotten started so that we're going to be in compliance in plenty of time with those things. So thank you for that work.
I also went to the conservation conversation, which was great. Honestly, I think they have a really robust program, which I think students could really benefit from. One of the things that I shared in that meeting was that for me, I grew up really in the city, and I didn't have access to a lot of those things. I didn't grow up out in the country like some people do, where they kind of have that love of nature from the start. When I was in high school, I had a teacher who, she took us on an ecology day. So we got to look in the creek, right? So we got to test water quality, we got to look at all the stuff that was in there. And it was kind of through that natural curiosity that it really blossomed my curiosity in general. One of the things we talked about in that presentation was creating people who are achievers versus those who are explorers. So kids who have high autonomy and kids who have low autonomy but are still driven. And so I think right now it's trying to create kids who have that motivation to succeed but have it from their own autonomy and not from the outside influences, such as awards for behavior, right? They're doing it out of pure curiosity. And I think that pure curiosity is where you get your lifelong learners, people who continue to look at their investment in education throughout their lifetime, not just because it's a thing that's necessary in school. So that was, I really enjoyed that presentation. And then I somehow sat through the same lady's presentation 3 times. It was 3 different presentations. It was 3 different presentations, but the same presenter. I listened to it 2 or 3 times. It was really, really interesting, but it was really about community and how we can get some community involvement and how we can play a role in that. So, really enjoyed it.
I didn't get to go this year due to a family event, so I'm sure that no fun was had without me there. But I do miss the opportunity to do that because the last 2 years I've been is just the time to bond as a board is always really important to me too, and I miss that. And, so I'm glad that you all got something to learn from as well, but I hope you had a good time too.
And Temple Grandin?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Temple Grandin rocks.
Incredible.
She's amazing.
Incredible speaker. Just truly amazing.
Yeah, my wife was upset.
Learning about the different visualizers,
Mhm.
mind blowing. Didn't realize that I was a visual object visualizer. So I learned something about myself. Oh, Keith wasn't there. I was looking at Keith, but he wasn't there.
Didn't get to go either.
It's okay.
I think it was a good conference overall. I've attended a few of them, and This one, I think a lot of good variety in the sessions and a lot of good opportunities to continue to learn, so it was good. Next, I guess, is the APR.
Yep, just a little bit. I know we've had a lot of things presented to you tonight. So let's add one more that's 40 slides, you know.
Oh, it's 37. It's only 37.
So we'll try to go through this fairly quickly, but it is fairly complex. But I just want to let everybody know kind of where we are and what we're working on to try to get better scores. So here we're at 2025 annual performance. This is the APR, and this is kind of our historical numbers. So we're at 70.5 this year, and that's down from last year from 78.2, but up from 2023 barely, and still up from 2022 at 70.5. So the APR has two things, performance and continuous improvement. We get almost all the points in continuous improvement, and the only thing we don't get points on is the attendance. So then performance, though, is the student achievement, and that's where we struggle. So this is the performance here. A lot going on with this slide, but you can kind of look in that percent earned, that 50% is what we're receiving most of those. We got a 100% graduation rate, which is great. The CCR assessments, which is we got 5 out of 10, and advanced credit, though we got all of those. But so the status, so these are broken down as status and growth. Status is just scoring high enough. How high did you score? You have to score high enough and to get the points. And we just didn't score high enough simply on those. Now the growth side, that is, there is a forced norm curve on growth, meaning that only 25% of the districts can get the top score, the next 25% can get the middle, the second highest score, and then 6 is from below average, from average to the bottom quarter, and the bottom quarter get the lowest points. So, and that's a lot of the APR. So almost a quarter of the APR is from growth points. So as you can see there, we're forced into that kind of 6 or half points for a lot of them. So we're right at just below average. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. So continuous improvement, this is, we're doing very well there. Now there's 9% of the districts that did not get attendance points, and that is us. We're in the bottom 10% of the state attendance. It's an area we've got to improve on because attendance really is the strongest correlation to academic achievement. So we need kids to be here when they're supposed to be here. This has been a challenge for us for a long, long time, and I don't have the answer. But I am hopeful that next year, when suspension counts as attendance, we'll get points because it'll count for attendance. So then we had great participation rate, 99 to 100% of all of our kids participated. That means took the test, which is great. So I'm going to go real quickly through the MAP data. So again, this is a correlation from last year, just showing that proportional attendance is the highest correlation on the positive side, and then your poverty level of your school district is on the bottom. This is last year's data. I'm not going to get into it. I will update this once all this data is available for this school year. It's not available yet, but just so you can kind of see what makes a difference is attendance, and then really teachers, and, having highly educated teachers, average years of experience with teachers, average teacher salary. Those things really play into it. And then you're starting to see total days kind of creep up a little bit because you're seeing 4-day weeks that are in the typically lower performing districts trying to achieve those higher things of retaining teachers to make a difference there. So that's last year's data. I'm anxious to see what this year's data looks like once it comes out, and we'll have that. But that's kind of what drives me a lot of what we want to strive for is a lot of retaining teachers and having kids come to school when they're supposed to. So whenever I look at this, one of the things I look at is just where do we rank, so I can combine all the test scores and just give us one score, and we're at 335, so that's down from last year's 288, but about where we were in 2023. It's up a little bit from 2022. So these are the charts by grade level. I'm going to go real fast through these because we're getting kind of late, so if you want me to stop, just let me know. So the red, what to look for. Okay, so on the red on the right is the 2025 score, and that's the district on the right. The state's on the left, and that's 3 years, so 2023, 2024, 2025. So if you're going to focus somewhere, let's focus on kind of, are we going up and where we are compared to the state. Okay, so we'll go fast. So 3rd grade, looking good last year. 4th grade, looking good, above the state, doing good. Kind of down a little bit, but not terrible. 5th grade, down below the state a little bit, but pretty close. So 6th grade, we're starting to see a drop below the state. 7th grade, even more drop below the state. 8th grade continues to be below the state. So we kind of see a drop off in middle school, which is one of the reasons for growth scores being down, because we do really well in elementary school and we kind of fall off in middle school. English 2, we had kind of a really down year. Typically we're above the state, but English 2 was down last year. So we'll have to monitor that. Just hopefully that's just a 1 year, one off, and we're back on track next year. Okay, math. So math is down as well in 3rd grade, but 4th grade bounced back. So we're hopeful that trend continues. 5th grade, we're starting to see down. 6th grade is down. 7th grade down. 8th grade continues to be down. Now 8th grade is an interesting one just a way, because some districts have their kids take algebra. There's a lot of game playing with 8th grade math and algebra. The state's trying to crack down on that. You're seeing some pretty high performing districts that got 0 points in math because they didn't have enough kids take the right test. So the state's trying to correct that a little bit, but there's still, it's hard to compare the state to the district, but our scores were definitely down compared to our own scores last year. But that's different groups of kids. Algebra is up, which is good. And then Algebra 2, really high scores and above the state. Great job, Algebra 2 kids at the high school. All right, moving quickly through science. Science continues to increase, which is great. 8th grade, we're seeing a dip, and then biology, we're staying kind of pretty flat there at biology. Government, we're kind of down a little bit where we were. So now what I like to look at the most is same kids, same group. The red line is the district's same kids. So from 2024 to 25, how did the kids do? How are they moving through our system? So in 3rd grade, what you're looking for is that same relationship between the state. If the state goes up, we should go up. If the state goes down, we should probably stay down. Looking to have that same relationship. So what we're seeing here in 3rd, 4th grade looks good. That's what you want to see. It doesn't stay that way. 5th grade, we see a drop. So this is, so kids 2023, 24, 25. So then the 6th graders that have gone through the system continue to drop. And 7th grade continue to drop as well below the state. The state goes up, we go down. That's wrong. Like, it's not what you want. 8th grade, we see that similar drop in the middle school, but we kind of maintain with this cohort there a little bit. We don't ever get back up to where that cohort originally was in elementary school, but we do maintain. Then, okay, so this is math. So 3rd and 4th grade looks great. That's what you want to see going up. Now I see a drop in 5th grade, and then this is 6th grade. The state goes up, and we kind of stay flat. And then 7th grade, the same kind of thing. So just to address that, what we're really working on this year is revamping completely the middle school ELA. We're going to focus on ELA and revamp that. And we looked at what we've done at the elementary level that's made a big impact, and that's really given direct instruction on how do you teach reading. So we've been doing our letters training. We've had a literacy coach going around helping teachers. That's really going to be a big push. And then we're also going to move away, because right now we have a reading class and a literature class. So we're going to move away, our recommendation is move away from that, just have one class. So we'd have a little smaller class sizes, but we think we're missing some connections between reading and writing. So we want to have all that together in one class would be kind of the general idea. Then we're going to have our teachers go through some training similar to letters that would flow from the elementary to the middle school that the state just pushed out. It's new training. And so we're excited about that, and we think that having consistent components that we should look for in our classroom, revamping the middle school ELA is where the focus will start, and then we'll look at math after that, but that'll be kind of where we're going to put our energy. Then also we're looking at, because title funding is going down, is transferring title funds to the middle school to get more support there, because really, when we talk about growth scores, which we're going to talk about, middle school is where you have to win. You have to win that to do well in the APR. So then the other recommendation, we wouldn't abandon elementary. We would just use district funds. So we just move buckets around a little bit. But let me get into growth scores real fast, and then we'll go. Yeah, Rich.
Well, I've always said this forever. We get a reading up, even the other curricular area is going to get better, because if you've never seen all these tests, it's all about reading. Right. Government about reading. Biology about reading. I mean, math, so much of it is reading. It's not numbers, it's reading. And we improve our reading skills, and that's when, and we all agree on that. I'm pretty sure that reading is the basis of it all. So we focus on that, and I think everything else will fall into place as well.
Yeah, so we done really well. We've put a lot of focus to the elementary. We want to kind of take that same model and move it up.
I love it.
Hopefully we have success. I just don't feel like administration's done a great job supporting our teachers to give them the tools they need to be successful. We just need to put more into that. Anyway, let's get to growth scores real quick, 'cause I know we're talking a lot. So growth scores, so this is how a growth score works. So student scores, let's say right there at the median line, it's where they scored. You would expect that next year that they would be here. And this is how growth would be measured. Did that person improve or go backwards from that growth? But that's not how growth scores work. What the state does is it comes up with a formula based off of this student. And they give you a prediction. That student could do worse. That student could do better. And so based off that predicted number is how you're determining what's called the residual. So you have the predicted number, then the scored number, you subtract those two, and then that's positive or negative. More positive, better, more negative, bad. And so that's how growth is determined. And then at the end, they force everyone, they add all those up, and they force everyone into a norm curve to determine who gets all the points and who gets the least amount of points. Instead of just saying the percentage of people that are at this height. So just to kind of show you some other flaws with the system, there is a regression to the mean, meaning that, okay, here's the mean. If I score here, my predicted score is going to be toward the mean. And the same thing on this side. If I score here, my predicted score is going to go to the mean. Now, what you want to do is you have to be to the right of the predicted score. So if I scored exactly the same, no growth at all, I do exactly the same, and I'm the student on the left, I have a negative growth score, even though I did exactly the same. If I'm the student on the right, I have a positive growth score, even though I did the same. So there's some real major flaws to the model and how it's scored, in my opinion. And I'm on the MSIP advisory group, and I've been screaming this since I was blue in the face. And we had a meeting this week, and I think we're starting to get some conversation, not necessarily moving away from the model. I think the model is always going to be here. I think they're dug in on that, but the way points are allocated. But anyway, so just to prove kind of the point, if you just look at each one of those sections, you can see at the top, so if you're on the far right, you can go back, you can actually go back almost more than a half a standard deviation. If you're at the bottom, you have to improve almost a standard deviation to even get positive growth scores. So there's a lot of issues there, in my opinion. But when we look at just additional analysis, where are our kids scoring? Are we above average, below average, where are we? So when we look at just how do they score, where do they fall on that norm distribution chart? In math, 47% of our kids are above average and 52% are below average. In ELA, 48 are above average and 51 are below average. So we're slightly below average, because we think 50% of your kids should be above, 50% should be behind, that would be average. Now, they also gave us some new information that included the standard error. So saying that here's the predicted score, but we also think if they took the test over and over and over again, they could be this far or this far from that predicted score. So if you take that standard error minus the predicted and see how many kids did it within the error, almost 80% of our kids met the predicted mark with math, and 82% met it with ELA. I'd like to see that be higher, but we're getting almost 80% of our kids are getting to where they should be based off of the statistical model that they provide us. So the way I interpret this is that we're a slightly below average district that has decent growth but not great. So that's kind of how I would give us the analysis on us. And I know I've talked for a long time on that, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
What is your interpretation of what's happening between elementary and middle school?
Sure, I think what's happening mainly is just really we have a lack of focus of what we're expecting in every classroom, a consistency of how content is taught. I think our curriculum is pretty solid. I think we've got good alignment to curriculum, but I think the way it's being delivered is inconsistent across classrooms. And so we need to probably tighten that up, and that way we all are working in the same direction in the way information is presented based off the research on how to teach reading. And that's something we've not really provided, is direct professional development on how to teach reading.
So you said we're currently providing that?
At the elementary level we are, and we're getting ready to add that to the middle school. Correct.
Okay.
And parents become less involved.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I watch my son and his wife with my grandkids. They're all in elementary. When they get to middle school, it's like, they'll deal with them, right? It's middle school. They'll deal with them. And then they get to high school, it's less and less. They're worrying more about the Friday night and those types of things. And I just think it's not just us. It's everybody's fighting the same battle. And know, like that speaker said, it's about growth, about improving. It's such a sad thing that you said, if a kid scores the same this year as he did last year on the, he gets penalized, come on, that's just crazy talk. I know it makes, you being a statistics guy, like British, and I love statistics, so your head's got me spinning, so, but I mean, you know, but I agree with Dr. K's antics there too, is about the focus and so forth, and I trust our people will do that. They see the numbers, they'll work hard, they'll attack it, there's no doubt in my mind, that's what we all did. We
Yeah, all the faith in our staff too.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
It's just, I don't know that we've done a great job as an administration, and I'll take it, of providing the
That's what good
strategies.
That's what good administrators do too.
Right.
Yeah.
How many, do we know how many districts across the state are teaching the Singapore model math that we're teaching?
Probably, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Probably about 10 or so,
Just 10?
maybe so. In St.
Are they
Louis,
the higher achieving districts?
yeah, yes, typically, yes.
Typically,
Right,
yes.
and that model has been the highest in the country, in the world, the pedagogy behind it,
Okay.
yeah.
And are we providing enough
We could do more.
instruction there?
We could do more, definitely could do more. You know, one thing we really lack is, and when I just even talk to my own kids about that is, and me knowing it really well, is just the lack of really model drawing, I think, is a big piece. Number sense, just, you know, the kind of the group chanting that you're supposed to be doing in that, just so kids can hear and learn and see, and you know, I just don't know that we really are doing it to the T, you know, like exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Are we providing enough education for our teachers to teach it?
Yeah, professional development. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't, personally, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we could do more in that area. But there's also a lot of other competing needs, you know, that, so that you have a limited amount of time. We always get trained to new people coming in. We have, so Winsville's been doing this for a long time, and the person that's been scored the highest in their district, and we're asking them, how did you get such high scores? They're like, well, I just do the program. I just do the way it's supposed to be. And the scores are through the roof. His test scores have been the highest in their district for a long time. And so we have him come out and teach our teachers at the beginning of the year, but we could definitely do more. But again, there's just a lot of competing needs on our PD time.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay,
I can email them, it's fine.
go ahead.
No, it's fine.
That's what we're here for.
No, I'll email them.
Okay.
They're not worth the meeting time.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. K, for those presentations. We'll move on to the consent agenda.
I have a question about the consent agenda.
Okay.
Can we remove the personnel sheet from it since we have not had a chance
Sure.
to discuss that
Yes.
in
Yeah.
closed session? And then approve it after we've had that chance?
Yeah.
Is that okay, Greg?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So in
Do
that
we need to make a
case-
motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda as presented.
Yes, I make a motion to amend the consent agenda by removing the personnel sheet and approving the remainder.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to remove the personnel sheet from the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Personnel sheet will be removed from the consent agenda. Any other questions on consent? Quite a few things in there this month.
Yeah, just wanted to note, board candidate filing is December 9th, so just anybody that wants to run for the Board of Education, that's when it opens.
Right. I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
You're doing.
I make a motion to approve the
Oh, yeah.
amended agenda?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Put that in
Yeah, I
before.
thought we had done that.
It's fine. I tried to get it all in there in one, but that's okay. I second it.
Keith.
Sorry. Oh, okay, I didn't hear him.
Totally.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, Alphonse.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the amended consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no old business tonight, So we'll move on to new business, which is summer school proposal, which we just heard lots of awesome things about from Dr. Stanek. Any questions around summer school proposal?
I move the approval of the summer school proposal.
Perfect. Thank you, Frankie.
I will second that.
Thank you, Rich. Motion and a second to approve the summer school plan as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Summer school plan is approved. I think we have a slight change order for,
Yep, so what we're looking at there is, we received the entrance size from MoDOT off of Highway 47 to the new building, and it's wider than what our current driveway coming out is. So we could do a couple things. We could put just a little like triangle thing there to connect that, but we thought, let's go ahead and expand that so we can have more space to turn. So this will be able to allow more stacking for cars as they're waiting at the stoplight to turn right, and then other cars can go around them and be able to stack and go left. So this would give us a little bit more stacking, and the total cost was a little under $12,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order as presented.
I'll second.
thank you, Carolyn. Motion and a second to approve the change order as presented. I do have one quick question. Does it involve any tear out of what's already been done, or is it something that can be?
There's a curb cut there, and they're gonna have to move, I believe, a drainage, to move the drainage out of there. So that's all included in the cost though.
That was the only question I had. Any other questions before we take a vote? All right, all those in favor of approving the motion on the floor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Audit results, do we have those?
No, we did not get the audit. We were hoping to get it today, but didn't come in. Yeah, so next month. Yeah.
So we just, a little bit shorter meeting.
I was hoping to- I was hoping to
Without
stay
the
till
audit,
midnight.
so
Dang.
we'll be okay. Next month.
Next month.
I didn't need to sleep tonight.
All right. So, moving on to policy first reads, there is a boatload of policy first reads, so we'll be busy between now and the next meeting, reading every last word and detail of those policies.
Carolyn's.
But-
Carolyn.
I do look forward to the
So
summaries from
good
Dr.
at that.
Glantz.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Looks like there are
I
several
was gonna let
different
you
AI,
summarize them.
Right.
different things.
It's all MSBA,
Correct, all
Yeah,
MSBA,
they're all-
all pretty much tied to new
Yeah.
laws.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to keep us up on the new laws,
Which would be a good thing.
yes.
All right. Moving on to the miscellaneous topics, we'll start with celebrations. Anybody have celebrations to
I have two.
bring forward?
First of all, another reason I wish I would have been able to go to the board conference is Travis Brock was named the superintendent of the year.
Yes.
This past year, Missouri School Board Association, and he was on my very first freshman basketball team here, and graduated in class of '93. Super kid, super family that here in town, and just proud as a punch of Travis and all he's accomplished. Does a great job at Afton High School, so or Afton School District in total. And then the second one would be, I know most of you have seen it, Nolan Grooms won the left-handed or right-handed arm wrestling world championship, won 2 gold medals on his trip to Baku, Azerbaijan with his dad. His dad, Sean, and his mom, Jennifer. Jennifer graduated from Morton as well back in the day, and just a super family, and congratulations, and great job by the high school administration to get all the local folks, the police department, the ambulance, the fire, everybody just got involved and give him a welcome home when he got home from the airport, coming into town with it, and he was really touched by that, and we gave him a halftime shout out at the football game when him and his mom and dad came down to the 50-yard line, so it was kind of cool, and the crowd did a good job for that. So just a big shout out to Nolan Groups, and congratulations and good luck in the next competition. And who knew, we have a USA arm wrestling team, so, and we have world champion right here in Morton. That's awesome.
That's cool. Others? I do have one. Our, excuse me, FFA organization last night competed in fall speech contest at the area level, and we had a first place and several second place winners in their speech contest, so they will all advance to the district competition, so that was fun to see. I think it was the biggest group of Warrenton FFA members that have attended that, that event in multiple years, so it's good to see.
We'll talk about, you could also talk about this more than me, but the FFA kids, such as your daughter that got their, what's it called, national?
No,
Oh, yeah.
American farmer degrees,
That's right.
yeah, we had 4.
Yeah, that seems like a long time ago, I guess,
That,
but yeah.
I know, but
Yeah,
that's,
there was 4.
that's a big deal to get
Yeah.
4,
Less than 1% of all FFA members in the country get
Right.
their American degree.
and we had 4 at the convention, the
That's fantastic.
national convention this year. That was an exceptional group of kids,
That
though.
was.
Well, they turn out some exceptional kids there at our program there. It's awesome.
We also had 3 students place from speech and debate at the Webster University tournament this past weekend. Or was that this past weekend? I don't even
Yeah.
know
I
the
think
days
so.
anymore.
Last Saturday, Mr. Betts has done a great job with
Right.
that program, taking it over,
Yeah.
so congratulations, Coach Betts.
Awesome.
And the play's coming up too. I don't know exactly
The
what they're.
musical.
The musical, the 20th high school musical on the 21st, 22nd, something like
It's
that.
like next,
It's, so I know, give them a shout out too, because I know they've been putting a lot of time and effort into that, so.
Good deal. Any others? All right. Workshop topics for an upcoming workshop.
I don't have anything for this time. We have a meeting scheduled, but I don't have anything unless the board wants to have a meeting.
I can't think of anything. Anybody else?
we're good.
Okay. We'll just have a regular meeting. That works too.
Okay.
And so I would entertain a motion to set that next.
I
regular
move we set the next regular Board of Education meeting for December 11, 2025.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to set the next regular meeting of the Board of Education for December 11th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we can now set the closed session.
I made a motion to set the next closed Board of Education meeting to immediately precede the regular meeting on December 11th, 2025.
Thank you, Carol.
I'll second.
Thank you, Deanna. Motion and a second to set the next closed Board of Education meeting to immediately precede the next regular meeting on December 11th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last one of the night.
So moved. It's adjourned.
I'll second.
Well, adjourned at closed session.
Yeah,
Oh,
adjourn closed session, yes.
A motion and a second to adjourn into closed session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will move to closed session.